Trans model Rose Montoya has been banned from the White House after attending Joe Biden's Pride event on the South Lawn. 27-year-old met the president and first lady.
Hey, Mr. President, it is an honor. Trans rights are human rights.
Before pulling down her top and exposing her breasts in front of the Truman balcony alongside trans men.
Are we topless at the White House?
A White House spokesperson confirmed to the New York Post that Ms. Montoya won't be welcomed back anytime soon. This behavior is inappropriate and disrespectful for any event at the White House, they said. It is not reflective of the event we hosted to celebrate LGBTQI+ families or the other hundreds of guests who were in attendance.
If I'm being honest, I'm quite shocked about the backlash she got. I did not expect in any way that she would get banned from the White House. Mostly because the Biden administration is super woke. I do think that Rose's behavior was extremely inappropriate. So it is a good idea that she's not going to get invited back anytime soon because she needs to learn how to behave well. Even though it shouldn't be hard for an adult to know how to behave in public. But here we are. Before we hear Rose's side of the story, can we please talk about this whole trans rights are human rights? What does that even mean? It's kind of funny I'm a trans person asking this because I'm generally confused. It sounds a little bit weird to say trans rights are human rights even though it's true. So I'm guessing that we hear this chant a lot because some people think that trans people don't have any rights in the United States right now, and that doesn't really make any sense. How ironic is it that a trans woman was personally invited to an event at the White House claiming that trans people don't have rights? Whenever you hear trans rights are human rights, it's probably regarding the rise in banning gender transition for children. It's not a human right for children to receive the medical transition. It's actually against their own rights because children cannot consent to this treatment. So it's actually adults doing this to children. Children are children and no child is trans. If you're actually for children's rights, you wouldn't be advocating for the sterilization of these healthy children who claim to be the opposite sex, when in reality, and according to most studies done on them, would most likely end up being gay. What's really ironic with advocating for children transitioning and claiming that it's their right to do so is the same community or the same activists are claiming that you don't need hormones, you don't need to get surgeries in order to be trans. While in this case they're only talking about the trans-identified adults. So the trans-identified adults don't need surgeries and hormones in order to be valid, but apparently we're taking away children's human rights away from them if they don't receive the medical transition. Make it make sense. Why can't it be the other way around? Why do children need to be medicalized for life, unnecessarily, in order to be valid, in your opinion? I don't get it.
It has recently come to my attention that conservatives are trying to use the video of me topless at the White House to try to call the community gross. And I would just like to say that, first of all, going topless in Washington, D.C. is legal, and I fully support the movement in freeing the nipple.
See, this is what woke activists do. When being criticized, they highlight the worst comment that they can find on social media. The comment does exist. Some people actually called her the G word. I can't even say it, it's so ridiculous. However, she's intentionally ignoring all the other comments, especially the rational and fair criticism she got, because highlighting those comments, she can't really play the victim. Another smart thing that she's doing here is to claim, well, it's legal, I'm allowed to. Maybe it is legal to be topless outside, but you were not outside, you were inside the White House.
Why is my chest now deemed inappropriate or illegal when I show it off? However, before coming out as trans, it was not. All you're doing is affirming that I am a woman.
Well, there's some truth to that. I mean, it doesn't matter if you're a man or a woman, you have big boobies. And it's not appropriate for you to show them off at a family pride event at the White House. In this case, it doesn't really matter if you're trans or not. It's hard to believe, but not everything is about you being trans.
My trans masculine friends were showing off their top surgery scars, and because it is perfectly within the law in Washington, D.C., I decided to join them and cover my nipples just to play it safe, because I wanted to be fully free and myself. I had zero intention of trying to be vulgar or be profane in any way. I was simply living in joy, living my truth, and existing in my body.
If you're for free the nipple concept, why are you covering your nipples? Let's talk about the truth. No matter if you're a man or a woman, don't act like this when you're invited to the White House. The truth also contains that you can actually be yourself without being naked. Did you know you can be your authentic self without showing off your body like that in public? Or is that what being trans is now? The last thing I want to show you is really interesting because it's a trans woman, usually really woke and a big fan of Rose. But this is what she had to say about what Rose did at the White House.
This was a family-friendly pride event at the White House with children. Honestly, Rose, I'm just super upset because you have been a great activist for the community, but this was dumb. What were you thinking? Look at it like this. Over the past year, especially, conservatives have actively been attacking trans people, calling us creeps and we prey on children. So then you get a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity to represent trans people on a national level at the White House where there are children present, and you show your boobas in front of the kids at the White House, even with the whole political climate right now. This just set the trans community back so far. The conservatives are going crazy about this, and I can't even blame them. And I saw that you defended this by saying, like, free the nipple. But be for real. Freeing the nipple should be the last thing you're worried about as a trans woman in America, where our rights are being stripped away. Like, girl, we're fighting a whole different fight right now. That has nothing to do with pride. There is a time and place for that. There is a time and place to show off your body, and this was not the time and definitely not the place. It's nice to have top surgery. I do too, but that's not what this is about. If we want to gain support and acceptance of our lifestyle, that is not the way to do it. I'm sorry.
I always think it's a little bit funny when woke activists are like fighting against each other. You would think that they agree on everything. But no, there are different levels of wokeness and how woke people are, and I think that's really interesting. Thank you for watching this video. If you want to see more content like this, remember to hit subscribe and the notification bell. If you want, you can support me with a small donation under Super Thanks. It means the world to me, so thank you, and thank you for supporting me. Click the link down below if you want to become a member of this channel. Remember to follow me on Twitter and on Rumble under the same name. And I'll see you all in my next video. Peace out.